Hey guys, it's Alexandra. Today I'm going to be talking to Johan, who is a adventurer and self-finder, originally from South Africa. He is going to be talking to us from up in the mountains, so that's pretty cool. He is going to be giving us some insight into how to, connect with your inner self. He's going to be talking about things like meditation, spirituality, letting go of anger that can come from society and from within. He's going to be sharing a lot of his wisdom. I will add some of his videos at the beginning of our interview so you can kind of get a feel for the type of traveling and adventuring, advice giving that he does. I'll link his stuff below too if you want to follow along his other accounts. I hope that you will stay tuned, get some insight, get inspired, and you can also subscribe for more videos. All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand when everything's meant to be broken. I just want you to know who I am.
Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is living every moment with love, grace, and gratitude. This is what I love about Scotland, you know. There's so many just beautiful things that you can come across, like this. The greatest discovery of all time is that you can change your future by merely changing your attitude.
I need to hide from the world. I'm scared they will see me fail. Maybe I can hide behind my smile. All it takes is a beautiful fake smile. A smile to hide my injured soul, and they will never notice how broken I really am. One day soon I'm sure I'll believe that the love I give is also the love I deserve. But for now, will you please just sit here with me?
I'm out in the mountains.
You are?
Yeah. Because I'm on my way to Glasgow. Because I'm doing that three-peak challenge this weekend. I'm getting picked up from Glasgow by the rest of the guys who's climbing the three mountains with me. So I'm driving down today, and I'm just kind of halfway talking to you.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about, how you got started, doing what you're doing and all of your traveling, where that rooted from and, what inspired you.
What do you mean? When have I started doing the climbing and stuff?
Yeah, it's like your point of, I thought it was really interesting, in your videos you talk about, that space of unhappiness where you decide to change your life.
The thing is, I've been working on myself probably for about 10 years now. I would say that my sort of journey has been going on. So yeah, roughly about 10 years. And I would say probably more intense the last 3 years, and then literally like delving in deep the last year. I've been really focusing on just sort of finding my true purpose and my true self, and focusing on me, to just become the best version of myself. I would say literally the last year has been a major sort of turnaround in my life, to be honest.
And what have been some of those, the most powerful experiences for you, where you've gone and, the most impactful things?
Well, there's various of things that I do. I do meditate quite a lot. I do breath work. I've been on different retreats. I've been on breathwork retreats. I've done ayahuasca. I went on a 10-day ayahuasca retreat in Peru, which was fabulous. Learned a lot there. And each individual thing that I've done has different impact on my life and shown me different things, you know. So I'm not going to say that I can particularly point out one specific event, because they are all individual and very powerful in their own right, if you know what I mean by that. So yeah, everything that you do to focus on bettering yourself, regardless of the journey, like I say, whether it's going to be breath work or meditation, they all point in the same direction. But yeah, it just depends on each individual what's going to work for you as an individual and what you will connect with better. Because some people I have come across who connects much better with breath work as they focus on that breathing. It keeps the mind very, very still, where some people don't find that as easy to do, and they would rather meditate, and that can sort of help them in that sense. So yeah, I guess it's going to be preference for each individual, but yeah, for me, you know, I love doing all different sorts of aspects of work on myself, and yeah, it's brilliant. I love it.
And how would you say, you know, this lifestyle affects, you know, your mental health? How do you think that's transformed since you've started?
Oh, massively, you know, because a lot of my stuff is literally outdoors. You know, I live outdoors. That's I grew up on a big farm in South Africa. Anyway, we had a lot of land that I grew up in. You know, so I've always been an outdoor kind of person. You know, I love being outside. So when I moved to Scotland about a year ago, and especially during the time that we had last year, 2020, I had a lot of time on my hands, obviously because everything wasn't shut down. The world basically stopped. Yes. So I just literally explored Scotland, as to say, and I loved it. You know, it literally cleared my mind. It's just when I'm out in nature, when I'm out in the open air, as I am now, you know, I mean, the weather has changed a bit now around me. It's all sort of, it's been snowing the last couple of days, and especially on the mountains now where I'm at, it's very white on the tops. So and the weather has literally just come in. I'm sort of just out on the bottom of Ben Lawless at the moment, and yeah, about 20 minutes ago, it was clear blue skies and you could see all the mountains around me. And where the weather has just come in now, it's all white around me now, and the snow is sort of latching in from this side of the window. But you know, it's a beautiful thing, because as you are outside and you are walking in this kind of weather, you know, you've constantly got to adapt, you know, and you've got to make sure that you pack the right stuff to take with you. So, and I think in your mental state, that's more or less the same, you know, because you will get obstacles thrown in your path in your daily life, you know, and there's lots of triggers, and it's how you deal with those triggers and how long. The main thing is, we are all human, and we will always get triggered, regardless of how spiritually connected you are and how holy you are, or how evil you are. You will always get triggered by some sort of event. But the key for me is the awareness of knowing that I'm getting triggered, and then sort of going into that event that is triggering you to sort of go, okay, what is this situation trying to teach me? What is this? Why is this emotion coming up? So it can be, I've said it before, say for instance, you drive, and I used to be very short-tempered and a lot of anger sort of inside my deep inside me, you know, a lot of anger that was held. And now if someone, say for instance, I would drive and someone cuts me off, in the past, I would have really reacted to that and sworn and, you know, just completely lose my temper. And I would stay in that state of being more or less for the whole day. And that anger then literally eats away at you, and you keep thinking about what you would have done in that situation and how you could have beaten that guy up that cut you off, you know. And at the end of the day, that guy could have been oblivious who's cut you off, that he's done that, you know, and it's not even, it could not even have been his fault. You know, he could have swerved for a sheep in the road or whatever. You know, it's irrelevant. But it's your mental state that now gets affected by being in that environment of anger the whole time, and that is not good for your mental health. You know, so and that's what I'm saying. When you're in the outside, so I mean, all the way around me now, it's literally lashing with snow. The snow is coming down really heavy at the moment. But in your backpack, I will have my waterproof trousers, and I've got a waterproof jacket that I put on, and I've got a woolly hat, and that's the sort of stuff that you can then, in that moment, right, you get all that protective equipment on, and you're ready to carry on. You know, and it takes you literally 2-3 minutes to get all of that on, and off you go again. And that, I compare that to my everyday life. So if something triggers me, I go into that and go, right, what is that showing me? Why is that triggering me? Why is that that coming up? And what is this trying to teach me? And then I go into that emotion, you know, so whether that emotion is frustration, whether that emotion is anger, hatred, you know, whatever comes up, I go into that emotion, and then I try to establish, where is that emotion actually coming from? How deep does that go? And I literally go into that feeling to go, right, where does that resonate from? And 9 times out of 10, it's got nothing to do with, even I would say 9.9 times out of 10, it's got nothing to do with what just happened. It's a deep rooted thing that has happened to you in the past, and that could have happened in your childhood, you know, and that's where you've got to go and heal that event to move forward. So yeah, being outside and being in that environment, you know, it's helped me 100%.
And what made you
to give you the short version?
You're good. Yeah, I do. I love hearing that stuff. I think, you know, it's so powerful, the fact that you are sharing with others. So what inspired you to, you know, share your journey online?
You know what, I think, and I've said this to other people so many times, the main thing about social media is, I mean, that's the way forward. You know, everything is online nowadays. You know, you can literally do everything and anything you can do online. And the main thing, my main social platform is TikTok. And then Instagram is sort of also kicked off a little bit. And to be honest, I probably say about 90% of the adult population that is on TikTok came across TikTok because of coronavirus. You know, we were in lockdown, needed something to do to keep us occupied, and we kind of took over TikTok. So and like I say, when I first started doing TikTok, it was just for fun, you know. It was a bit of a laugh, nothing serious about it. And I did a few posts to do with my journey, to do with mental health, to do with just being there for someone else, to pick them up and make sure they're okay. And those posts got a lot of attention, and a few of them went viral. And I just felt like, hold on a minute, maybe I can use this as a source to see if anyone else out there might need a bit of help and guidance. And I felt if I can just help one person out there, showing them my side and my vulnerability and what I've gone through, and if that can pick one person up, you know, the world will be a better place. And I'm very grateful and very, very humble that I have had quite a few of those posts that people have literally said it's pulled them through, you know. So it's a nice feeling to know that you can help others, but also this is human nature, you know. We are there to help each other, you know. We are all connected with energy and frequency, and you know, we're all connected, we're all one. And that's the purpose, I feel, that we should look out for each other. You know, we should help each other. You know, even if it's just a smile walking past a stranger in the road. You know, you never know what they are going through, and just giving them that smile. You know, they might think in their head that everything and everyone is against them in the world, and in that thought, you walk past them, give them a smile, and that smile can make them think, actually, you know, it's not true. This is a complete stranger who's just lifted me up by just smiling at me, you know. So that's my honest opinion. I do feel we need to look out for each other and just be there, and just help each other.
Yeah. Do you think you've been able to accept, the hardships that you've been through? I know it's hard, I feel, for people to get stuck on negative things that happen to them and, feel badly about themselves or, feel like, the world is against them. How were you able to take, negative things that happen to you and turn them into a positive?
I think that comes with age, not necessarily with age, but for myself, it came with age, because when I was younger, I felt, and I think that's to do with my upbringing, my environment where I grew up, being in South Africa, which is a very harsh and brutal country, I think it's again, it's going to be different for each individual. But for myself, I think I matured in that sense with age, and a lot of people I've spoken to, sort of had the same feeling that the older you get, the more you understand, and that's when the penny kind of drops, and you're like, okay, well, there's more to life about that actually that does come in. So yeah, for me, it was definitely a thing that came with age. To not feel like the world is against me, it's a strange one. It's a strange one.
Yes. And how do you think, I don't know if you've been able to connect with anybody who's seeking advice for, overcoming their own unhappiness and somebody who wants to change their life. So for anybody out there who feels like they need to be revived or they need to change something, what would be your advice on that?
I would say if you really want to better yourself and you really want to delve into you as a person to evolve, you've got to go right back to the beginning. If you do a bit of research, and I'm pretty sure you know this, that most everyone's belief system gets formed in your first sort of 6 years of life. Even before that, when you're in your mum's tummy, you start forming all these beliefs and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that in those first 6 years that can go wrong and that can cause trauma, so I would say definitely delve into that sort of sense by trying to discover yourself back down into, because in your subconscious already know, but you've got to be able to connect with that subconscious, and the way you can do that is through meditation, is through breath work, cold water therapy, all of these sort of stuff where you can just literally quiet the mind to go into that subconscious. And the only way you can connect with that is if you literally go into that sort of meditative state to connect with that, and then that's where you can find the answers, and all the answers is already within you. But the ego will always try and block that out, because the ego is proud. So, and there's different ways you can use therapy. There's people who go to therapy who's got really good therapists who can help them. Guided meditations. I follow a guy called Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's my mentor, and I absolutely love him. He explains the science and the physics behind meditation. And as for men, we are very analytical. For myself personally, I always wanted to know why things and how things work before I believed it. And so, like for the TV, for instance, when I was a kid, I wanted to take it apart because I didn't understand how the people got in there. I wanted to understand it. And so if, for anyone who's interested in that sort of stuff, if you go onto Dr. Joe Dispenza's website, get his books, he explains things very, very simplistic way, so that we can understand it. And if you understand something, to do it becomes so much easier, Right. So yeah, definitely.
And do you remember any moments, I'm sure there's been many, but throughout your journey where you really felt you connected with yourself, some of those first experiences where you felt that change in yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would probably say about a year, 2 years ago was maybe 3 years ago is literally where for me the penny dropped, and that's when I discovered Dr. Joe stuff. I would say that was a huge turning point for me. And about a year and a half ago, I did the ayahuasca, and for me that as well, that was a massive eye opener to just understand a little bit more about myself, and what my purpose is.
Yeah, and what are you looking forward to in the future? What's your next move?
My long-term goal is to have a retreat center where people can literally come. We will do like 3-day courses, and we will do like a week-long advanced course, and that will include not just coming on to retreat to have a jolly, but we will be actively doing work, i.e. we will be going out into nature. Very fortunate where we are in Scotland. We've got a lot of mountains to climb. It doesn't have to be necessarily the Monroe's ones, which is like 3,000 meters above sea level, 1,000 feet, I think that is. But also the smaller ones, literally going out in nature, meditation, yoga, cold water therapy, but then also having fun, like paddleboarding, going canoeing, going kayaking, adventuring up waterfalls, all sorts of there's so many trails that you can do in Scotland. And that's my long-term goal, is to have a retreat center like that, where people can come and just discover themselves, and even if they know themselves, just by coming into that retreat, to have time for themselves, because at the end of the day, is if you are not 100% well yourself, whether that's physically, mentally, you are no good to society around you. You yourself needs to be 100% first before you can actually contribute and help those around you. And that'll be the purpose of that, is to just let people be themselves, and discover themselves, and discover their purpose. That's the long-term goal that I can envision myself doing. And I mean, as I drive around Scotland, I've seen so many different spots and areas that I'm thinking, oh, this will be a great place for a retreat, where people can come. And so that's my long-term goal that I'm working on, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have something up and running.
Yes, that's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I wish you so much luck, and I really appreciate the content that you're putting out. So keep doing what you're doing and keep inspiring people. And, I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Alexandra.
All right. We will be in touch. It was such a pleasure meeting you.
All right, darling. Take care. All the best to you.
All right. Take care too.
See ya. Bye.